What's poppin', what's goody? You're listening to By Any Means with your boy Zico Dan alongside my co-host Jumoke, CC Poetry, aka CC, and as I call her, Richie.
Yo, welcome back to By Any Means.
Yes, thank you very much for everyone that subscribed, followed, shared, viewed us, commented, thought to comment but hasn't really commented yet. Thank you anyway. And for anyone that has commented and just told us personally via DMs or face to face, because we might know you, we appreciate you also. Feel free to drop a comment underneath, and then we can all see it instead of just us, like me relaying it to her and Zico and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. It does help.
Well, as you can see, there is only 2 of us today.
2.
So, but...
Not 3, but 2.
Yeah, but the show goes on by any means.
Yeah, we must continue doing this by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here we are.
Mm-hmm. And should we go straight on to the topic?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Why not?
So, today's topic is on Meghan and Harry and whether or not they did the correct thing by removing themselves from the royal family.
From the monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know it's a hot topic right now. It's a continuous hot topic right now. And then there's been a lot of negative feedback from certain persons that I don't want to name. Certain people that are in the media, the tabloids. It's very, very, very negative.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to give you our take on that and see what your thoughts are as well, because some of you guys are not from the UK, so it'd be nice to hear what your thoughts are from people that are in the UK, that are British, that are maybe English, that are, I don't know, Irish, wherever you're from. It'll be good to know your thoughts on Meghan and Harry and where do you think it's gone, and so forth.
So what's your take on it?
Where do I start? So you said whether or not they should have removed themselves from the monarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, it's only because I'm not in it, right? And I've never been a princess. We have our own thing. We Africans, we be princess, kings, queens. We have that. Yeah. Anyway, but I personally, I probably wouldn't have removed myself from it in that sense. I would have tried to see if I can do the change within, because technically now I'm not in it. How would I be able to change or make the changes that are needed for the monarchy if I'm not in it? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously, because they're not in it, they have to find ways of making money, hence interviews, Netflix, Harry's book. Yeah, so I don't know how you can sustain with that. It's tricky. It's a tricky one. It's tricky.
It is a tricky one, and growing up, I've never been one for the monarchy anyway. If I'm totally going to be honest,
I mean, it's understandable considering your history.
I've never been interested in what the royal family were doing and all that sort of stuff. However, when I started to look into the situation with Harry and Meghan, I then started to sort of have my opinions, and I believe that by him stepping away was the only thing that he knew to do in order to make changes.
Has he made a change though? No. So I don't know if that's
it's only just sort of started in a way.
Why would it just start? Okay, you are a person, yeah. You've been brought up in this world. You know your peoples, yeah. How old is he? 30 odd something, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you know your peoples. You know your history. You know your culture, yeah. You know your history. You're taught it.
They was also taught in order silence is key.
Okay,
so you weren't allowed to show your emotion.
Just the same way how we know about Henry, yeah, the 8th, and all the other people. You know your history. You know your parents. You know how it works when you marry second, third cousins, keep the blood pure. You know all that stuff. You are raised strictly on that. You now know, okay, the situation with your mother. You know all that's happened with your mum, whether or not you heard whispers or whatever, whether or not she was killed off or not. You know all this stuff because of what she was doing and stuff like that. You know this stuff. Now, you are in a world, you're growing up, you're getting in trouble for certain things, whatever, limelight, paparazzi, you know that stuff. Now, you know that the person you're going for is of mixed race heritage, right? American as well, not even in the royal family, has been divorced, she's older than you. You know all these, like, you know this. So, now, you've established that you guys are in love, whatever the case may be. Is it not your place to be like, okay, this is what's coming? You kind of know what's coming.
You're saying he should have prepared her for it.
Definitely. Are you trying to tell me when you're dating someone that's not of your culture, you don't tell them, you don't teach them the ways, you don't show them the ways, and vice versa? You don't do research, you don't, like, come on, he's not that naive. He's educated, very educated. There's no way he was that blindsided to a lot of things. She may be a little bit different because she's American, and not to be rude to a lot of Americans that don't have passports, but yeah, a little bit ignorant. That's it, literally how it is. You don't know the passport.
But she also actually stated in one of her interviews that she's never been treated like a person of colour. So the fact that
I don't know how that would make sense when, based on, I saw a bit of I did watch a bit of it. I kind of got a bit, I was like, I can't watch this nonsense because it just sounded like she's chatting rubbish at some points, because it seemed like, obviously your mum's black, you were around when you were younger, you was around your black cousins, grandparents, whatever, the neighbourhood you was in.
But because she's mixed, she's always had the sort of the privileged side.
So how can you say you don't know how to be treated as black? Like, you weren't sitting on your mum's lap trying to get your hair done. Like, I don't understand. Like, your mum.
I think she was more talking on the side of a society.
But then society, when she would go out, and obviously she's very, very fair. Yeah, you're going out with your mum. Your mum's not that dark, to be honest, but you're going out, and especially back then in American society, they were like, oh, whose baby is that? Are you the nanny? So that kind of stuff there would be happening. So for you to go on like, oh, I didn't get treated as boy, it is based on the little clips that I saw when the pictures and stuff like that. You didn't notice that you were fairer than your cousins, and so I don't know how blind you was. But, you know what I mean? And then, on top of that, as an adult, it seems like you only got white friends anyway. So, like...
So that's probably the intake that she's talking on.
Yeah, that's fine, but
And so it's become as a big shock
She's never travelled the world. She's never
over to this side, like, to England.
This is the first time she left America, was to come to England. No, she came here when she was younger. Like, she was a picture of her outside Buckingham Palace. That's what I'm saying. Like, some of the I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Some of the things that she stated is like, I know it's very true. Like you're saying, it's very possible that certain, obviously, everyone's experience is different. It's very, very possible.
Yeah, because I've never experienced racism in my. Well, I'm not going to say in my life because of there's been moments, but not as drastic as some of the stories that I've heard. So
I'm not talking about someone calling you the N-word. There's many ways that we experience racism.
Yeah.
That then we look back and we're like, hold on. Well, first of all, we might think, oh, they're being rude.
Yeah.
But then, especially when it comes to things like, okay, her's different, because like in here in the UK, there's been many times when they're like, do you know what, Jamaica? Maybe to get a job, you should change your name. I'm like, why? Oh, because your name's a bit... Yeah, I heard...
Someone, she said that?
Of course, yeah. When I was younger, I was like, oh, why don't you, like, put... And that's not really right. A lot of Africans, or people with African names, they tend to use their middle name. Because these are the things that, like, they're told that maybe you should have, like, a whiter sounding name. Because as soon as they see that... Because we all know, we know now anyway, that a lot of recruitment people, if they can't pronounce your name, they're not going to look at the rest of your CV. Yeah. And that's ridiculous, because... Why is it you can't pronounce my name? And who is looking at the CV that can't pronounce your name? There you go. So, like, what is it? Or you have a lot of Asians, randomly they're called Dave. Like, what? You know, they're called David Devinder or something. You know what I mean? They just change it out for people. For what reason, I don't know. So things like that, I can understand she might not have dealt with that. But if you were kind of like, how is, as a parent, like you're trying to say now, your culture, you haven't taught your child. So how would you not, your child knows he's Jamaican descent because you've taught him that.
Yeah.
So how is it that her mum, who's of black origin, hasn't taught her, maybe her struggles in life?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So I don't understand that logic. That's what I mean. Things like that, the small bits like that. I'm not about like bigger things in regards to like her moving around as an older adult and being around predominantly white people. It's a bit different than when you're younger and growing up and you're around, you know?
Yeah.
And also, there was times they said on the documentary she was definitely around her dad and his family.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand.
What you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. But I personally think that they did well, and my hat goes off to Harry for actually stepping away and wanting to raise his family, do what he can for his family. Trying to be normal, because obviously there will never be a normal family.
I'm just hoping it lasts forever, because boy, if I was him and we end up getting divorced, I would be pissed. You made me leave my title. Yeah, went through all this and then it didn't work out. That's all death to us part. Trust me when I say that one.
But I think where Harry's concerned is obviously now he's sort of bringing a lot of the conspiracy theories to light and trying to clarify certain things that happen behind the scenes that people just assume and don't actually know.
Yeah, but is he only doing it because that's what I'm trying to say? So he wouldn't have done it otherwise if he wasn't with this woman.
I don't personally think so.
Yeah, and that to me, doesn't make, to me that's not like, oh my gosh, great. No, because at the end of the day you're complicit. You was happily knowing all this stuff, and
just sitting on
it. Like, so that doesn't make me feel like, oh great, oh yay, Harry. Like,
they say that sometimes you need to kick up the backside in order to get your act together, isn't it? Maybe she's the kick that you needed. Yeah,
maybe. Let's see where it goes. I want to know where it's gonna go. That's my thing. I want to know where it's going to go. Obviously, the book, he's come out with a lot of stuff with the book. Yeah. I haven't read it. I don't really intend to either. Maybe I might listen to audio, but I'm not. No,
I want to read the book. I want to actually see what it is that he has to say. Because obviously I heard that he obviously didn't want to go into the military anyway, but he was forced to do so. Yeah. There's a lot of things that he didn't want to do.
The same way how a lot of kids don't want to do stuff. That's life. Like, people need to understand, that regular childhood and being in royalty, well, people won't ever understand that, but it's a lot different. I'm sure, like, if the Queen was alive, she would, and if she wasn't trained how she was, she would have probably not wanted to half the things she wanted to do. But it is, do you know what I mean, in regards to that monarchy anyway. Obviously, there's other monarchies in the world, but they're just not as known as the British one, or the English
Windsors.
one. The English one, yeah. So, yeah, him, I don't know what else he would have done if he didn't go to the military. I think you all have to. Because it's a bit like saying, okay, how are you going to have a military for your country and your own family don't go? It's kind of there to kind of promote others to do it. Do you know what I mean? There's reasons why they made him do it. Do you get what I mean? Like, you will sit on your phone and your grandkids ain't even going to the military. I ain't going. I ain't fighting for this country. And they put Harry there, like, oh, and everyone's like, yeah, I want to go. Harry can do it. There's so much wave, propaganda, everything. I'm sorry. I know people have the sympathy for them. Life, innit?
Now you're saying that, well, they're getting a piece of our world, basically.
Not even half. Not even half. Because at the end of the day, they got their name. They can make money regardless. They can do any type of interview and make money regardless.
Yeah.
Like, if they're smart with it, and I'm sure they will have, like, PAs, PRs, whatever, and certain people that are doing what they're doing behind the scenes to make sure they're continuously making money, they will be able to continue to make money till the day they die, and their children will have that privilege. Even though they might not have the title, they're going to still have that privilege.
Because he's still a duke, so...
There you go. So, like, I'm not really... I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I really have sympathy for people like that, to be honest. No,
So are we...
Especially when you're so educated. Like, come on. You've gone to the best schools, the best this, the best that. You've had the best foods. You have everything. And you're moving like... Oh, I didn't know. Like, you went to a school. Did you see any people of colour in your school? Like, come on. Like, I'm talking about Harry here. Do you know what I mean? Like, who are you around? Like, you can't be that blind. Oh, maybe some people are that blind, but can you be that blind? I don't know.
A lot of people are. A lot.
He's travelled, so he knows how it is. He's gone to a different country. He, if anything, would have a better understanding maybe she does. That's why it's so hard for me to understand how she wasn't more prepared.
Because he was saying that the reason why he's been treated a certain way, like his whole life, is because of he's so much like his mum, and he could see it in them that they couldn't stand the fact that he is like Princess Diana.
Boy, that's what happens when you're married to royalty and you're not royal. If you had that whole title and stuff, it would have been a lot different. Because anytime there's someone that goes into a royal family, they don't have the title, they have to work twice as hard. That was proven with Diana. It was proven, well, what's her name again? Charles's wife, man. Camilla. before she, because she didn't really have a title. She had a bit of a title, didn't she, before she became...
A little bit.
Yeah. Everyone's
She went princess.
No, she still isn't a princess. She was never a princess. They couldn't give her that title because someone else had the title. So she had to kind of like, everyone's like, who's this woman? We still kind of didn't really know who she is till this day. So you get what I'm saying? That's still there. And I think the same happened with when the Queen married Philip. He didn't have a title technically. He was like, she's like, who's this guy? Kind of thing. They had to kind of give him a title for him to kind of be married in the family, so it can seem like he's someone when he's not really nobody. So it happens. It's just that as it's gone down the line, it's gone worse and worse and worse. So I should laugh.
But that's the way how it is, and they say that it's all history repeating itself. But then again, like, it's just, like you said, it's getting worse. There's nothing that's happening for the better. Like,
I just want to know where it's going to go from here. Like, they understand certain things now. They realise certain things now. Now, what are you going to do? What's your independent thoughts on him, and what's your independent thoughts on her? In regards to the question you stated earlier.
With her, I'm sort of in two minds about the whole situation, right? Because of part of me, like I said before, is like, yay, go you two for doing whatever, and then the other part of me is saying that they left without a plan.
Or maybe we just don't know the plan, to be honest. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but well, that's what it seems like, especially after watching the Netflix series. And obviously they left. I watched all of it. Okay. And obviously they left, and then what the royal family then did was they cut off their security and this, that and the other, so they was living in fear for a while. And then if it wasn't for Tyler Perry like taking them in and saying, no, come back to America, come be.
So wait, you mean to tell me, hold on, I know about Tyler Perry's situation. Hey Tyler, so you mean to tell me you're royalty or your ex-royalty and none of your friends taking you in? No one that you know decides to take you in? Your eliteness wasn't there to... Yeah, that privilege you have? That don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Wow, it just shows that maybe some of their friends were there because of they was royalty. They had the money and whatever. And then now that obviously they're in need, they no longer have those facilities. They're like, cutting ties type of thing.
Wow, that's deep.
It happens in normal days.
I know, but come on, like,
I'm
a prince. Like, do you know what I mean? You could say I'm a prince, like, really. You don't want to take me in? Like, what? There should be a lineup of people saying, let me take you in. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy. Yeah.
But that's why I say, to me, it seems like they left without having something in place. Like, because then you're not only putting yourself in a certain situation, but then it's also down to your children as well. So that's what it looks like from the outside.
Right.
Like, I don't know if they had a plan and then maybe it backfired. We don't know because they didn't mention that side of it.
True. So what's your thoughts on Meghan then? From not just from that documentary.
She's acting like she's blindsided by the whole thing. I mean, like...
Your face.
Like, we know our history. We know, like, the things that the monarchy does for people of colour and all that sort of stuff. Like, so why are you going to act surprised? Like, I don't get it.
Boy.
Like, I know it sounds harsh, and I'm sorry to anyone that might think that I'm being, you know, a bit too abrupt or whatever.
But maybe she needed the harshness of it all, because at the end of the day, what bubble was you living in? Like, what? Like, I swear that's what I'm saying. Did she not travel out of the... Like, I know there's a picture of her when she was young, like, came to the UK. She said, I'm going to marry a prince. Cool. But apart from that, did you not travel outside of America? This is what I'm trying to say when I say...
But I think she must... well, unless she only ever did American films.
She went to Canada.
Like, yeah, unless she only, like, did those type of films, and then she didn't have to travel to other countries. And...
Yeah, because, you know, like I said, unfortunately, no offence to the ones that are not ignorant, because not all Americans are ignorant, but the majority of the ones that don't have passports are. Once they're like, oh, well, I don't need to travel anywhere. I've got everything here in America. I just travel from state to state. They don't go outside the world. So I'm not even know where Europe is, what's in Europe. Like, there are black people outside in Europe and other ethnicities. It's just ridiculous. Like, seriously, it's really bad. But I don't know what she thought, honestly.
Yeah, but maybe she thought because they allowed Harry to marry her, that maybe things were changing.
It was a they didn't marry, like, they didn't meet one day and marry the next day. It was a process.
Yeah.
So what was you not and then therefore, to me, that's why I say maybe he messed up there, because you know your people, yeah?
Yeah.
And even if you don't know them, that obviously tabloid stuff is a whole different thing, because they're just pathetic. Yeah. And they're just rude and whatever. That's a whole new different topic. But you know your people, right? Like, you know what your mother went through, and certain other people that we don't know. Like, I think one of his great uncle, I think one of his mum's dad, so his great granddad's brother, who was supposed to be a king, advocated because he went to go marry an American. They said, no, you can't do that. So they took away his title and went to marry an American. That was decades ago. You know your history, innit? Like, how do I know this, Harry? How do I know this? You know what I'm saying? You know your history. So you know how your peoples are, man. They didn't want your mum to marry a person of ethnic origin. Like, come on. Like, that's why you be like, boom. You sit her down and be like, look. That's why unless she's pretending he didn't tell her, I don't know. Sit her down and say, look, this is the reality of things.
This is what I've went through. This is what my mum went through.
This is what you may have to go through. I'm gonna basically let her know this is the worst and the best outcome that could happen. So you're a bit aware. Maybe she was told, but she's just pretending she wasn't told.
Or she was told, but then she played a blind eye to the whole thing. So then when it happened, it sort of blew up.
She was like, I was light enough in it. I'm lying. I feel fine. They'll see me as predominantly white anyway. Like, I'm white enough. Like, do you know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah. Alright, I've done a bit of research. And it says, during an interview with ITV's Tom Bradby last night, we weren't spared much at all. Harry shared graphic details of the night he lost his virginity.
Why?
The heartbreaking moment he found out his mother, Princess Diana, had died, and the breakdown of his relationships with Prince William and King Charles III. But as the many allegations and heartbreaking confessions snowballed, which have probably left even more unanswered questions and a lot of muddy water, one thing has become increasingly clear: the royal family is staying silent.
I mean, that's how they got to where they got to, isn't
it? Because even
tradition,
even King Charles, he said
that sounds so weird saying King Charles. I'm sorry. I'm like, huh? I can't believe the Queen's gone.
Yeah, because he was saying that he doesn't want to talk to Harry or have any sort of sit down with him until after the coronation. When the coronation is over, then maybe
Did he say that to Carrie and Harry turn out to the press, or that's what he said out of his mouth?
That's the question, because of it was something that I actually read in the newspaper.
If it's the Sun, one of them, please, these damn papers, these. But either way, it would make sense because, like, for Charles, that's a lot he's got to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Focus and also considering that your child is doing interviews. You don't know what he might say. So I think I'll not say nothing at all in case it comes out. Do you know what I mean? Because now, you don't have that, I'm a prince. I just say a certain way, that decorum to you, innit? If someone says, I'll pay you for this, I might say yes. So that's understandable to me. I'm sorry, that's understandable. Especially when I want to air my secrets. Why are you going to be airing my secrets to the public for? Like, I ain't airing your secrets. Because I'm sure his dad could air out secrets about him, but he ain't doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? So, it's understandable. Are we getting another bank holiday? That's what I want to know.
Possibly. Depends on what day the coronation falls on.
Yeah. So, let's do this coronation, Charles, yeah. What's your thoughts on that, though?
What, the fact that he doesn't want to talk to his son?
Mm-hmm.
Because they could easily have private sessions. Just say, do you know what? Just let's do a one-on-one thing, innit? And if anything, get Meg to sit down with Kate. And sort of... because there's sort of air it out. Because obviously, like, they're only in-laws, isn't it? So they don't have to like each other. But... It's called civilization.
Do they have issues though?
There was a lot of tension that's built up between the two, but I think that the press made a huge impact on that, because obviously when Kate's pregnant, they're saying one thing, and then when Meghan's pregnant, then it's a negative.
Yeah, because they're racist. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, we are in a country that is technically not our country. We know this. Mm-hmm. Like, there is underlying racism galore. Mm-hmm. Like, systemic racism. Like, come on.
I was speaking to a few people about this, actually, and they were saying that they just hope that they don't end up getting divorced, and this isn't going to be a weight on their marriage. That's what
if they was to ever get divorced, Meghan, you're gonna get the butt of everything. So you yourself you want to make sure this marriage don't end, because the tabloids are the British press, which is really bad. Don't condone anything they've said or done. Them elites, yeah. They're going to come for her. They're going to come for her.
And it's not even just the press.
No, they will come for her even more.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not even just the press, because of modern day citizens will come for her. Like, it will just go in one big circle again and again. It would be tough.
And this whole thing about what the child will look like, the baby will look like.
Oh yeah, that cut me. That did. That hurt.
That didn't cut me. I'm like, y'all are people that have gone to education. Science. Yes, there's always a chance of throwback and all that nonsense. But come on. I would have put money down and I would have told you exactly how they look right now is how I knew they would look. If you catch my drift, read between the lines. Like, really? Come on, man. Oh, I'm gonna be too dark. What, pretend? Like, what?
Well, she's fair. But then her mother isn't.
She's not
so...
fair. She is mixed race. She has a white father and a black mother.
Yeah, but there's some people that are mixed race and they still have...
And he is pure. And you can't get any purer than that. Yeah? You cannot get any purer than that. It's not even like, oh, okay, actually, no, the grandfather's a bit Italian. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, Europeans. He is pure white. Royal blood at that. Do your science. Forget about the math. Do your science. Like, come on. Common sense, honestly. Like I said, they're obviously okay. There is small chances, and there is if that. But these are like, you know, they always say it's like the chances are very small. Mm-hmm. They're so small. It's like 1 in how much thousands or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, come on.
So on that note,
sorry guys.
Are we concluding?
Yeah.
Like, so what are your final thoughts?
I wish them all the best of luck.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that it gets to a point whereas certain people, Pierce, can stop talking about Meghan. It's so negative.
Yeah.
Because that's retarded. You're a grown ass man, and all you got. I don't even know how you even have a wife. How does your wife deal with you?
And I understand that from all the negatives that she's been getting, obviously that would do something to a person's mental health.
Yes.
Like, so in that aspect, like, Meghan, my heart goes out to you completely, because nobody has to deal with all the negative that you have been receiving.
What is his issue though? We won't put that on the next topic. What is your Pierce? I'm not even gonna call you by your last name. Pierce, what is your flipping issue? What is your issue? Honestly, you go like you've never been around no people of colour before in your life. Like, what's your issue? And you're still on TV as well. People, and they're still paying you. That's another thing. You see what I'm saying when it comes to certain privileges? Yeah. You think we could be on national TV talking away
him a few times and then they bring him back
and give him more money. So yeah, I hope that they can make the changes that they make is going to be positive in regards to if they're gonna go down a path to say, okay, enlighten people about history, elitism and all that kind of stuff. They go along it, they do it. I hope that maybe Harry continues to maybe what his mother was doing in regards to like charity or whatever the case may be, and I hope they're happy, you know, because that can be a strain on anyone's marriage. Yeah, like seriously, they're happy, their kids are happy.
Well, towards the end of the Netflix interview, she was saying that from obviously moving in with Tyler and all that stuff, Tyler Perry, like, it has made things a lot more easier. She's a lot more happier than she was. So that's a bonus. So thank you, Tyler, looking out.
Yeah, stay strong and keep that backbone, boy, because boy, this is the kind of thing
they're gonna need it.
That's the kind of thing we've been dealing with, and they're like, just get over it. They say that all the time, by the way. Get over it. What's this, a poem?
Yep, I do have one. I just wrote this a few days ago, so it's sort of still a rough draft. Right. It is written in scriptures. It has been written in books. It is there in front of your eyes. It's down to you to take a closer look. The past cannot be changed, and neither can some people. Is it true what they say? You are not born pure evil. When she announced her engagement, what did she expect? To be treated with common courtesy, but the disappointment and pure disrespect. I feel it for you. I feel it for Harry. It must not have been easy to choose between love and honour, his wife or his family. My personal opinion is, I am thrilled he showed his wife his loyalty, to abandon his status, stepping away from royalty. It takes guts and bravery. He stands out like no other. You are the black sheep, just like your mother, the Princess Diana. R.I.P. to her. You have done your mum proud. Keep telling your truths. Go big and go loud.
Ooh. Aw. Princess Diana. Do you remember when you heard the news?
Yeah, actually. I was in the living room playing Barbies with my mum.
I want to turn everything to a joke. I feel like I was walking home. Well, I didn't hear it walking home because back then we didn't have no, Google and all this social media. But I went home and then looked up. It's around September time it happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, it didn't make sense. Obviously, as a child, it didn't make sense. And it still don't make sense now. So, yeah. I was like, oh. It's like, damn. Yeah, sad.
Yep. There's been pure shocks over the past.
Yeah. But maybe this, I know, like, obviously they're taking it, Harry and Meghan are, like, the first ones to do it. Maybe it's supposed to happen this way. Like,
Like they say, it just takes one.
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to happen this way for change to happen.
Yeah.
So, only time will tell, really. Hopefully, things work out for the best.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
I think on that note, we need to wind down a bit. So, if you want to see any more poetry, you can visit me on ccpoetry_writing content.
If you want to check out my page and content that I should be putting up on my Instagram page, it's the one and only _Jimacare1.
Yeah, and then if you want to visit By Any Means, you can visit us on byanymeans_theofficialpodcast on Instagram, By Any Means with the number 6 on TikTok, and also plain By Any Means on Facebook.
Thank you very much again for tuning in for our session. We've got passion, we've got vibes. If there's any topics that you want to hear, feel free to let us know. Either comment below or send us a DM, and we can do that. If you have any questions that you might want us to maybe come up and hear, read out your question and ask. Feel free to that also. Yeah. So we do have a few questions that I think we're going to start actually doing that, so you guys can see what other people have for us instead of us answering it just like that. I think we might do that.
Yeah.
And we shall see you again soon on By Any Means.
What's goody, what's poppin'? This has been By Any Means. You've been listening with Zico Dan, Jumake, CC Poetry, aka CC, and as I call her, Richie. We out.
We out, people.